Media.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Cruz. After almost 2 decades as a career network marketer, I realized that despite continual work on my personal and professional development, that I had hit a massive brick wall. So I took a deep and honest look at myself, top to bottom, hoping to find answers, and my search led me to one conclusion. The definitions I held of my business, of my world, of my life were the very things holding me back. If I wanted to change, if I wanted to grow beyond my current circumstances, I had to wipe the slate clean and redefine. This show is dedicated to helping you identify the belief systems, the mindsets, the very definitions that have held you back, and then help you break through those limitations to finally create the life you've been working so hard to achieve. Welcome to the Redefine podcast.
Okay, happy podcast day. Happy podcast day to you. Welcome back to the show. It's been a while. I haven't released an episode in a few weeks, and to be frank, I just haven't felt like it. I haven't had the motivation. I haven't had the desire. I haven't had, I hadn't had the drive to plan, produce, record, all that stuff. I just haven't felt like doing it, and so I was finally just sitting around a couple of days ago, and I thought, well, instead of thinking about all the reasons why I don't want to do this or want to do anything, why don't I come up with reasons to keep going, right? And this is really an important conversation. It might seem pedestrian and very basic, but it's absolutely fundamental when it comes to goals, when it comes to your dreams, your aspirations, because obviously if you stop, then you're never going to achieve those things, right? And I want to give you tools to help you keep going, especially when you don't feel like it, right? Because you will get to a point in the work that you're doing, and you get to a point in your journey where you're just not going to feel like doing it, especially if you feel like you're not making any progress. So these are the 3 reasons to keep going when you don't feel like it. Okay, number 1, you're closer than you think, right? We all know the story of the miners, quitting a foot before they hit gold or hit, strike it rich and find the diamonds, right? If they had just stuck it out one more day, they would have found diamonds and they would have been rich. And that's true to a very to a large extent. You just never know, right? You never know when this thing is going to hit, and well, that's kind of part of the difficulty, right? You keep going, but you never know. But you'll never get there if you quit. So you have to keep going. So the way I like to look at it, instead of, okay, you're just around the corner from success or from achieving this thing or from your destination, because again, it's impossible to really know be precognizant of when things are going to happen at an exact time, an exact date. The way I want you to think about you're closer than you think is that every day that you do something towards your goals is one day closer, right? It's if we think about it from a marathon standpoint, although there are always mile markers on a marathon, but let's say there's no mile markers, you have no tracking device on your phone, you have no idea how far along you are on the journey, but you know that if you quit before the finish line, you're not going to finish the race. So think about it that as with every day that you keep going, it's just one more step closer towards that finish line, even if you don't know when or where that finish line is. It's like the mysterious marathon that you're running, and that's what goals really are. Because we have no idea. But if we think about it as every day that I do something towards this goal, I'm that much closer to it, despite the fact that I don't know where or when it's going to happen, or how close I am. I will keep going with the idea and the knowledge that there is an eventuality that I will get to my destination. So you are one day closer if you keep going. That won't happen if you stop. All right, so number 2, you can only get better. Oh, sorry. No, that's number 3. Let me back up. Number 2 is actually purpose. Purpose. One of the things that I've been kind of wrestling with lately is just finding purpose or understanding what my purpose is. Again, when you're doing something repetitively, and especially when it doesn't feel like you're making progress, you can have this feeling of like, what's the point, right? What's the whole purpose of all this? If I'm not getting anywhere, or at least I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, why keep going? Well, just doing the task itself, right? Doing these simple tasks of planning, recording, and producing an episode actually gives me a purpose. I mean, it almost the task itself almost assigns a purpose. So doing things assigns a purpose, as opposed to not doing anything, right? You'll never find or well, doing nothing is no purpose or has no purpose, right? In the larger scheme of things, in the context of goals, goal achievement and making your dreams happen, doing nothing achieves nothing, right? So having a task, or at least if you're feeling a little lost when it comes to purpose, having a simple task and following through with those tasks gives you a sense of at least temporary purpose until you find the purpose again, right? Like until you're able to kind of really look at it from a standpoint where, okay, this is why I'm doing this, right? Now, the thing about purpose is that, again, as I kind of alluded to earlier, you can't find purpose when there's no motion, right? You can't find purpose when there's no movement, because again, doing nothing, I mean, there's no purpose, right? There's no movement. You have to have movement. Purpose requires movement. Purpose requires motion. If you're to find it in the first place, again, there's that kind of surface level of, well, this is just my task as the purpose, and then as you get into it, you can start to examine and dig deeper to finding that purpose and that meaning for yourself. But it does require movement. It requires motion. Without motion, without movement, there is no purpose. In the context, of course, of goal setting and achievement, right? So purpose is a really important one to keep going. Again, you will never find a purpose if you're just sitting there doing nothing. Stagnation is the killer of purpose. Absolutely. Okay, so purpose is number 2. Number 3 is you can only get better, right? In the first one where we talked about you're closer than you think, it does speak to having a destination, but in reality, it's all about mastery, right? It's all about the journey. Again, that sounds trite and it sounds cliche, but it really is all. That's all we have, because once you get to a destination, then what? You have to keep going. So in this particular example with the podcast, well, I'll never get better. I'll never master it. All aspects of it. The marketing side, the growing the podcast side, of course, the delivery of the content, the recording quality. I'll never continue to evolve and get better and work towards mastery if I stop, right? And that goes with anything, right? That goes with anything. Whatever your career path or the thing that you're trying to achieve. The mastery is really where it's at, and the destination, the prize, the finish line is just the side benefit of working towards mastery. Now, is mastery 100% attainable? No, but working towards mastery is, and so the again, that's really where that quote lies, right? It's all about the journey and who you become along the way, as opposed to the finish line, the destination, because there really, until we're 6 feet under, there is no destination, or however you choose to to plan your end of life, and where your remains go. It's 6 feet under, cremation, shoot yourself into space, whatever. But until the life journey ends, there is no destination. So you might as well really embrace the journey, embrace the day-to-day, embrace the trials and tribulations, because those are the things that, and even the joys and the wins, because those are the things that build you and yeah, it informs who you become. And if you're focused on working to get better and to be a better person, then you're one step closer to mastery, and you really start to enjoy that process, because you're getting better and better every day. I'm getting better and better by continuing continuing to do this podcast, continuing to put these episodes out there. And I know that, again, the eventuality of certain mile markers and destination points that I want to achieve will happen, but I am getting better every day along the way, as long as I keep going. So that's my message for today. 3 reasons to keep going when you don't feel like it. Number 1, you're closer than you think. Number 2, you can't find purpose if you're not moving. And number 3, you can only get better if you keep going. So hope you enjoyed that. More from me, I'm not sure when. I can't honestly say. But I will keep going. I don't have a direct plan. I may cut this down to once a week. I don't know. I haven't made a firm decision. I have made a firm decision, however, on coming back to my other podcast, re-upping. I don't know what the right word is, but getting back to my other podcast, The Path of the Jedi. Because that's one that I love, and it's a whole different audience also, but much of very kind of the same principles and lessons as here, but all in the context of Star Wars. So if you're interested in that at all, there's a bunch of back episodes in the library. You can go just search for Path of the Jedi wherever you listen to your podcast, and I'll be releasing an episode very soon in the coming weeks. So we'll see for sure. We'll keep going here on Redefine. How often, I'm not fully decided yet, but there will be definitely more episodes to come. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Until the next episode, be well, be safe. Well, yeah, I'll see you in the next episode.